Everyone here dreams of success, but dreams alone are cheap. Success never arrives as a gift, it comes with a bill. The bill is written in sacrifice, and only those who are brave enough to pay it ever get to live their vision. So let me ask you right now, will you cling to comfort, or are you ready to make the sacrifice that success demands? Success requires sacrifice. It is a law that has never been broken, and it applies to every field of life. Whether in business, education, health, relationships, or personal growth, nothing of lasting value comes without giving up something in return. Many dream of success, but few stop to ask what it truly costs. The truth is that every goal, every ambition, every vision carries a price tag attached to it. The question is not whether you can achieve it, but whether you are willing to surrender what must be surrendered in order to claim it. To understand sacrifice, imagine a farmer who wants a harvest. He cannot simply wish for crops to grow. He must sacrifice his time, his energy, and his comfort. He must plant the seeds when others are asleep, water them when others are at leisure, and protect them when storms threaten. Only then does he enjoy the reward of abundance. The same principle applies to success in life. You cannot enjoy the fruits of achievement without first enduring the labor, discipline, and persistence required to produce them. Success demands that you release habits that do not serve you. It may mean waking earlier than you like, studying longer than you prefer, or working harder than those around you. It may require sacrificing weekends, sleep, or the temporary pleasures of entertainment to focus on building your craft. It may call for giving up the comfort of familiar surroundings and stepping into environments that challenge and stretch you. These are not punishments, they are necessary exchanges. You cannot hold on to comfort and expect to grasp greatness at the same time. Sacrifice also reveals your seriousness. Anyone can speak of goals, but the willingness to give up what is easy proves how badly you want what is hard. If you say you want success but continue to cling to excuses, distractions, and unhealthy habits, your actions contradict your words. True desire shows itself not in what you say, but in what you surrender. Every sacrifice is a statement of commitment. When you let go of one thing to gain another, you declare to yourself and the world that your dream is not optional. It is essential. There is also a hidden blessing in sacrifice. Each time you give something up for the sake of your vision, you grow stronger, more disciplined, and more capable of handling the success you are pursuing. Sacrifice shapes you into the kind of person who can sustain achievement. Without it, even if you gained success by chance, you would not have the strength to keep it. Sacrifice is the refining fire that transforms desire into destiny. It strips away weakness and forges resilience. It is not meant to harm you, but to prepare you. Not to take from you, but to make room for more. Definite purpose is essential. Without a clear aim, effort becomes scattered, energy is wasted, and opportunities pass by unnoticed. Many people move through life with wishes instead of plans, with vague desires instead of defined goals, and then wonder why success feels distant. The truth is simple: success does not come to those who drift. It comes to those who know exactly what they want and direct every thought and action toward it. Purpose acts like a compass, guiding decisions and keeping focus sharp even when distractions tempt and obstacles rise. Imagine two ships leaving a harbor. One has a captain, a map, and a destination clearly marked. The other sets sail with no plan, carried by the wind, hoping the waves will lead somewhere good. You already know which ship will reach its port and which will wander aimlessly. The same is true in life. Without definite purpose, you drift. With definite purpose, you chart a course and keep moving forward no matter how rough the waters become. A clear purpose creates power. It gives courage to take risks and strength to endure hardship. When you know why you are working, why you are sacrificing, and what reward lies at the end, quitting loses its appeal. The person who is unsure of their goal is easily discouraged, but the person who knows exactly what they seek cannot be shaken by setbacks. Purpose keeps the fire of determination alive. It whispers to you in moments of doubt, reminding you that your struggle has meaning. Definite purpose also organizes the mind. It aligns your thoughts so they work together instead of against each other. Without it, one part of you wants success, while another part clings to comfort. You start something but never finish because the mind is divided. But when your purpose is definite, all parts of you unite toward one end. Every decision becomes easier because you measure it against your purpose. If it helps, you embrace it. If it hinders, you discard it. Clarity saves time, energy, and opportunity. It is not enough. However, to simply declare a goal, it must be specific, meaningful, and worth every ounce of effort you will invest. Saying, "I want success," is not enough. Success in what? For whom? By when? A definite purpose is precise and personal. It stirs emotion when you think about it. It becomes the reason you rise early, the reason you keep pushing when tired, the reason you say no to distractions. The stronger your purpose, the stronger your drive to fulfill it. Definite purpose is also magnetic. It attracts the right people, resources, and opportunities into your life. When others see that you are clear about where you are going, they are more willing to join you, support you, or guide you. Purpose creates confidence, and confidence draws allies. It is the foundation on which persistence, sacrifice, and achievement are built. Without it, you may be busy but not productive, active but not advancing, alive but not truly living. Definite purpose is essential because it gives direction to your entire life. Without it, effort becomes scattered, decisions lack consistency, and energy is wasted on pursuits that lead nowhere. Many people speak of wanting success, but their desires are vague and undefined, so they drift from one idea to another, chasing opportunities without commitment. Success does not respond to uncertainty. It responds to clarity, determination, and unwavering focus on a single meaningful aim. A clear purpose is like a guiding star in the night sky, steady and unchanging, always pulling you forward no matter how dark the path may seem. When you live without purpose, life controls you instead of you controlling life. Circumstances dictate your choices, distractions consume your attention, and the opinions of others shape your direction. But when you know exactly what you want, you take command. You stop chasing after every opportunity and instead pursue only the ones aligned with your vision. This gives you strength to say no to distractions and courage to say yes to challenges that bring you closer to your goal. Purpose sharpens your willpower. It reminds you why you began in the first place and why stopping is not an option. Clarity of purpose also eliminates fear. People fear failure when they are unsure of what they want. But when you hold a definite goal, fear loses its grip. You may stumble, you may face setbacks, but your eyes remain fixed on the destination. Every obstacle becomes a lesson instead of a defeat. You no longer wonder if success is possible. You know it is because your purpose has given you the map. All that remains is to keep moving step by step until you arrive. Having a definite purpose aligns your thoughts, words, and actions. Without it, your mind becomes divided. One part of you wants progress, while another part clings to comfort. One day you chase ambition, the next you settle for mediocrity. This inner conflict drains your energy. But when your purpose is fixed, every part of your being works together in harmony. You measure decisions against your goal. If something moves you closer, you embrace it. If it pulls you away, you reject it. This unity of mind is what gives great achievers their strength. They are not necessarily smarter or more talented. They are simply more focused, more definite, and more determined. A definite purpose must also be specific and personal. Saying you want success is too vague. Success in what? By when? For whom? A powerful purpose is one that excites you, one that matters deeply, one that stirs your emotions and ignites your imagination. It is the reason you wake up earlier, work harder, and persist longer than those who drift. A clear purpose creates discipline without force because you are pulled forward by vision, not pushed by obligation. The stronger the purpose, the stronger the persistence. Definite purpose also attracts people and opportunities. Others are drawn to clarity. When you speak and act with conviction, people recognize it and respond. Resources appear, allies join, and circumstances align because the universe itself seems to favor those who know exactly what they want. Purpose gives you confidence, and confidence is magnetic. It sets you apart from the masses who wander without direction. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary achievement because it channels all your energy into one focused stream instead of many shallow pools. You said, expand key point nor 4 to 500 words without heading in any ending sentence. ChatGPT said sacrifice brings clarity because it forces you to decide what truly matters. When you begin a journey toward success, there will always be countless distractions, temptations, and competing desires pulling at your attention. You cannot move forward while holding on to everything at once. By sacrificing what is unnecessary, you strip away confusion and create a straight path toward your vision. Every time you let go of something that does not serve your future, you are telling yourself and the world where your priorities lie. Clarity is not found in adding more, but in removing what is irrelevant. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with items you do not need. With every step, the weight slows you down, drains your energy, and clouds your focus. Sacrifice is the act of removing those unnecessary items so you can walk freely and purposefully. In life, those items may be unproductive habits, toxic relationships, or time wasted on meaningless activities. The moment you release them, the path ahead becomes lighter, clearer, and easier to follow. Sacrifice reveals what is essential by forcing you to choose between what is important and what is merely comfortable. Clarity born from sacrifice gives you a sharper vision of your goal. When you are willing to give something up, you instantly know how much your dream means to you. If you hesitate to let go of distractions, then the dream is not yet strong enough within you. But if you are willing to lay aside temporary pleasures for long-term rewards, the dream becomes more vivid and your purpose gains strength. Sacrifice acts like a lens, focusing scattered light into a powerful beam that can cut through obstacles. Every sacrifice is also a test of discipline. It asks you whether you want comfort today or achievement tomorrow. It asks you to weigh the easy path against the meaningful one. When you choose sacrifice, you train your mind to value long-term gain over short-term gratification. That decision brings clarity because it eliminates the noise of indecision. Once you choose to give something up, you no longer waste time wondering if you should do it. Your energy is freed for more important battles. Sacrifice also clarifies relationships. When you begin cutting away what does not serve your purpose, some people will naturally fall away as well. Those who truly support your growth will remain, but those who only valued your comfort or your conformity will distance themselves. This is not loss but clarity. You come to see who is aligned with your vision and who is not. The fewer conflicting voices around you, the more clearly you can hear the voice of your own ambition. Sacrifice clears mental space as well. A cluttered mind filled with doubts, excuses, and conflicting desires cannot focus long enough to build anything worthwhile. But when you consciously release thoughts that do not serve your purpose, you create room for ideas, creativity, and solutions that will carry you forward. The act of giving up distractions opens the door for inspiration to enter. Sacrifice is therefore not only about losing something, it is about gaining clarity of thought, focus of purpose, and strength of direction. Sacrifice is not loss but investment. Many people hesitate when they hear the word sacrifice because they associate it with giving up something forever. They see it as deprivation, as if they are being robbed of comfort, pleasure, or ease. But the truth is that sacrifice is not subtraction, it is multiplication waiting in disguise. Every hour you dedicate to growth, every habit you exchange for discipline, every comfort you surrender for progress is a seed planted in the soil of your future. Just as a farmer invests a seed into the ground and must let it go in order to reap a harvest later, sacrifice is the same principle at work in human achievement. When you sacrifice time for study, you are not losing hours. You are investing them into knowledge that will serve you for a lifetime. When you sacrifice leisure for hard work, you are not losing relaxation. You are investing in the creation of opportunities that will give you greater freedom later. When you sacrifice unhealthy habits, you are not losing pleasure. You are investing in energy, strength, and longevity that will allow you to enjoy life more fully. Seen through this perspective, sacrifice transforms from something painful into something powerful. It becomes the price you gladly pay for a future far greater than the present you are leaving behind. The greatest achievements in history came from people who understood that investment through sacrifice is unavoidable. Every inventor, leader, and pioneer traded nights of rest, hours of comfort, and sometimes even years of obscurity for the chance to create something meaningful. They did not mourn their sacrifices because they knew what they were working toward. They understood that temporary discomfort was a down payment on permanent achievement. This mindset separates dreamers from doers. Dreamers want the reward without the investment, but doers accept that sacrifice is the currency of success. Sacrifice's investment also shifts how you view challenges. Instead of seeing them as punishment, you see them as preparation. Every time you endure hardship, every time you persist when quitting seems easier, you are adding to the account of your future. You are building resilience, sharpening skills, and proving to yourself that your purpose is greater than your comfort. These investments compound over time. One small sacrifice may seem insignificant today, but repeated daily, it builds a foundation strong enough to hold the weight of success. The beauty of sacrifice is that it teaches delayed gratification. It trains the mind to endure the present in anticipation of a better tomorrow. This ability is rare but priceless. Those who cannot sacrifice remain trapped in cycles of mediocrity because they always choose what feels good now over what creates greatness later. Those who can sacrifice, however, rise above because they see beyond the moment. They understand that what is surrendered today returns tomorrow multiplied. Every sacrifice becomes proof of commitment, and every investment in effort brings them closer to the life they envisioned. Persistence is the real test because it determines who merely desires success and who is truly committed to achieving it. Many begin the journey toward a goal filled with excitement and energy, but when obstacles appear, when progress slows, or when results take longer than expected, their enthusiasm fades. It is persistence that separates those who stop at the first sign of difficulty from those who press forward until victory is theirs. Success is rarely instant, and that is by design. The challenges, delays, and disappointments along the way are tests meant to measure how much you truly want what you claim to desire. Persistence is the fire that keeps your dream alive when circumstances try to extinguish it. It is the voice that whispers, "Keep going," when everything around you says, "Quit now." The truth is that nothing worth achieving has ever been accomplished without persistence. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure, but many confuse the two. When faced with rejection, loss, or setback, they assume the dream is impossible and walk away. The persistent individual, however, understands that defeat is only a lesson in disguise, a stepping stone toward greater wisdom, and an opportunity to try again with more knowledge than before. The world rewards persistence because it proves faith in your purpose. Every time you push through discouragement, you show that your vision is stronger than your circumstances. Every time you rise after falling, you prove that no obstacle has the power to keep you down permanently. This consistent return to effort builds character, and character is what sustains success once you achieve it. Without persistence, even if success arrived, it would not last because the strength to maintain it would be missing. Persistence is not about never feeling tired, doubtful, or discouraged. It is about moving forward despite those feelings. It is about waking up each day and taking one more step, even when yesterday felt like a failure. It is about choosing to believe that progress is being made, even when results are not immediately visible. Just as water wears away stone not by force, but by steady repetition, persistence wears down resistance until success becomes inevitable. History is filled with examples of men and women who failed repeatedly before they succeeded. Their stories endure not because of the failures, but because of their refusal to let failure be the end. Each setback became fuel, each obstacle became training, and each delay became preparation for a greater victory. Persistence transforms trials into triumphs because it refuses to stop until the goal is reached. The real test of success, then, is not how passionately you start, but how relentlessly you continue. Anyone can be motivated for a moment, but only the persistent remain devoted for a lifetime. Persistence proves desire, builds strength, and turns impossible dreams into undeniable reality. It is the one quality that guarantees you will eventually reach the finish line, no matter how long the road or how steep the climb. Excuses and achievement cannot coexist because every excuse you allow becomes a wall between you and your goal. Excuses are the language of limitation, the quiet whispers that justify inaction and disguise fear as reason. They sound harmless. I don't have enough time. I'm not ready yet. The circumstances aren't right. But each one steals energy from your dream and places control in the hands of doubt. Achievement, on the other hand, is born from responsibility, from the decision to act regardless of conditions. The two cannot live together in the same mind because one demands progress while the other accepts stagnation. When you hold on to excuses, you give away your power. You allow external forces to dictate what is possible for you. You convince yourself that success belongs only to those with better opportunities, more resources, or greater talent. But the truth is that countless people have risen from humble beginnings, with fewer advantages and greater obstacles, simply because they refused to let excuses decide their destiny. They understood that while excuses may comfort you in the moment, they rob you of fulfillment in the long run. Achievement requires a different mindset. It asks you to look at the same challenges and instead of saying, "I can't," to ask, "How can I?" The shift from excuse to responsibility changes everything. Excuses close doors while responsibility opens them. Excuses paralyze while responsibility empowers. The moment you stop excusing and start owning your circumstances, you reclaim control over your future. You may not control every situation, but you always control your response, and that response determines whether you move forward or stay trapped. Excuses also breed procrastination. They give you permission to delay, to wait for a perfect time that never arrives. But achievement requires urgency, the understanding that every day wasted is an opportunity lost. Time is the one resource that never returns, and excuses consume it faster than anything else. The achiever recognizes that imperfect action is far better than perfect excuses. Progress, no matter how small, always beats the comfort of inaction. Every excuse weakens resolve, while every act of responsibility strengthens it. Each time you refuse to hide behind reasons and instead take one more step forward, you build momentum. Over time, this momentum becomes unstoppable, pushing you through obstacles that once seemed impossible. On the other hand, every time you accept an excuse, you reinforce the habit of surrender. Success is not denied to most people. It is abandoned by them through repeated justification of why they cannot go on. To achieve anything meaningful, you must choose. Will you feed your excuses or feed your ambition? You cannot do both. One must die for the other to live. The moment you decide to eliminate excuses, you free your energy to focus entirely on achievement. That clarity of commitment creates progress where hesitation once lived. Excuses may feel safe, but only achievement gives fulfillment, and the choice between the two is made every day in the small decisions that either push you forward or hold you back. Excuses and achievement cannot coexist because every excuse you allow becomes a wall between you and your goal. Excuses are the language of limitation, the quiet whispers that justify inaction and disguise fear as reason. They sound harmless. I don't have enough time. I'm not ready yet. The circumstances aren't right. but each one steals energy from your dream and places control in the hands of doubt. Achievement, on the other hand, is born from responsibility, from the decision to act regardless of conditions. The two cannot live together in the same mind because one demands progress while the other accepts stagnation. When you hold on to excuses, you give away your power. You allow external forces to dictate what is possible for you. You convince yourself that success belongs only to those with better opportunities, more resources, or greater talent. But the truth is that countless people have risen from humble beginnings with fewer advantages and greater obstacles, simply because they refused to let excuses decide their destiny. They understood that while excuses may comfort you in the moment, they rob you of fulfillment in the long run. Achievement requires a different mindset. It asks you to look at the same challenges and, instead of saying, "I can't," to ask, "How can I?" This shift from excuse to responsibility changes everything. Excuses close doors while responsibility opens them. Excuses paralyze while responsibility empowers. The moment you stop excusing and start owning your circumstances, you reclaim control over your future. You may not control every situation, but you always control your response, and that response determines whether you move forward or stay trapped. Excuses also breed procrastination. They give you permission to delay, to wait for a perfect time that never arrives. But achievement requires urgency, the understanding that every day wasted is an opportunity lost. Time is the one resource that never returns, and excuses consume it faster than anything else. The achiever recognizes that imperfect action is far better than perfect excuses. Progress, no matter how small, always beats the comfort of inaction. Every excuse weakens resolve, while every act of responsibility strengthens it. Each time you refuse to hide behind reasons and instead take one more step forward, you build momentum. Over time, this momentum becomes unstoppable, pushing you through obstacles that once seemed impossible. On the other hand, every time you accept an excuse, you reinforce the habit of surrender. Success is not denied to most people. It is abandoned by them through repeated justification of why they cannot go on. To achieve anything meaningful, you must choose. Will you feed your excuses or feed your ambition? You cannot do both. One must die for the other to live. The moment you decide to eliminate excuses, you free your energy to focus entirely on achievement. That clarity of commitment creates progress where hesitation once lived. Excuses may feel safe, but only achievement gives fulfillment. And the choice between the two is made every day in the small decisions that either push you forward or hold you back. The price of success is courage, discipline, and faith, because without these three qualities, even the greatest vision remains only a dream. Courage is required because success always demands stepping into the unknown. The path forward is never fully lit, and fear whispers that you are not ready, not capable, or not worthy. Those who wait until the fear disappears never begin, but those who act in spite of it discover that courage grows with each step. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward while fear still lingers. Every great achievement begins with someone daring to take a step that others were too afraid to try. Discipline is equally vital because success is not built on single acts of greatness, but on consistent effort over time. Discipline is the ability to keep working when motivation fades, to continue practicing when no one is watching, and to uphold standards even when shortcuts seem tempting. Without discipline, dreams collapse under the weight of inconsistency. Success asks for daily effort, for habits that accumulate into mastery, and for the strength to do what must be done whether you feel like it or not. Discipline turns ordinary time into extraordinary progress because it transforms fleeting ambition into a lifestyle of persistence. Faith ties it all together. Faith is the belief in the unseen, the confidence that your sacrifices and efforts will eventually bear fruit even when no evidence exists yet. The journey to success often begins long before results are visible. Months or even years may pass before your work produces recognition or reward. Without faith, you give up too soon, doubting that your labor has meaning. With faith, you endure, trusting that every step forward, no matter how small, is carrying you closer to your destination. Faith is the invisible fuel that keeps you moving when everything outside you says stop. These three qualities work together. Courage starts the journey, discipline sustains it, and faith makes it possible to endure the distance. Remove any one of them, and the pursuit of success weakens. Courage without discipline leads to bold beginnings that quickly fade. Discipline without faith turns into empty labor with no conviction. Faith without courage leaves dreams untested and potential unrealized. Only when all three are present does success become inevitable. The reason the price of success feels high is because it asks you to constantly rise above your limitations. Courage asks you to silence fear, discipline asks you to silence laziness, and faith asks you to silence doubt. Each one demands sacrifice, but each one also strengthens you. As you practice courage, you discover boldness. As you practice discipline, you discover mastery. As you practice faith, you discover resilience. The price of success is not paid all at once, but day by day, through countless decisions to be braver, more consistent, and more trusting than you were yesterday. Those who are willing to pay that price ultimately find that success was never denied to them. It was simply waiting for the moment they were strong enough to claim it. Success becomes inevitable when you are willing to pay the price, because life rewards those who refuse to stop until they reach their destination. Many people treat success as if it were a matter of luck or chance, something granted to a fortunate few while withheld from others. In truth, success is not random. It is the predictable outcome of consistent effort, sacrifice, and persistence. When you are fully committed, when you decide that no obstacle will be enough to turn you back, then success must eventually come. The only variable left is time. Paying the price means embracing the reality that achievement demands more than average effort. It asks you to surrender excuses, distractions, and comfort in exchange for focus, discipline, and growth. Those who hesitate, who hold on to convenience while reaching for greatness, find themselves stuck halfway, frustrated and confused. Those who fully commit, who pay the price in full, inevitably rise above, because nothing can permanently stop a person who refuses to quit. The world cannot deny progress to someone who shows up day after day with determination. Success becomes inevitable because each sacrifice compounds. Every hour spent studying, every repetition in training, every moment of discipline adds to a foundation that grows stronger with time. At first, the progress may be invisible, like roots growing underground, but eventually it breaks through in visible results. The person who pays the price understands that consistency is never wasted, even when it seems unrewarded. They know that effort always accumulates, and that sooner or later, persistence turns into breakthroughs. When you are willing to pay the price, setbacks become temporary instead of final. Others may see failure as the end, but you see it as part of the process. Each obstacle becomes a lesson, each rejection becomes redirection, and each delay becomes preparation. With this mindset, nothing can truly defeat you. Success is not about never falling. It is about rising every time you fall. If you are willing to keep rising, no matter how many times life knocks you down, then reaching your goal becomes certain. Paying the price also means developing the inner qualities that success requires. It means cultivating patience when results are slow, discipline when temptations arise, and faith when doubt tries to take over. These qualities are not optional. They are the price tag attached to every great dream. Once you decide to develop them, you transform into the kind of person who naturally attracts opportunities and creates results. Success becomes less about what you are chasing and more about what you are becoming. The inevitability of success lies in the fact that persistence, sacrifice, and belief cannot be denied forever. The world eventually makes way for the individual who knows exactly what they want and refuses to settle for less. It may take longer than expected, it may demand more effort than imagined, but the outcome is certain. When you are willing to pay the price, you stop asking if success will come and start asking when, because its arrival is guaranteed to those who refuse to surrender. Success will never ask if you are comfortable. It will only ask if you are committed. The price is sacrifice, but the reward is a life beyond ordinary. The choice is yours: excuses or achievement, comfort or greatness. Are you ready to pay the price?